This is Servo. He is my first dog. He's my old man. We couldn't have him on the property or living with us or on the road trip because he's incontinent. So he can't hold his bladder or his bowel movements. So we had to wait until we had an outdoor living situation set up for him. And now he's back. So we're just reintroducing them. All the dogs except for Shoko know him. So the first step that I did last night is I just put everybody in a muzzle and I introduced them one by one. Servo is very polite and very well mannered, so I don't really worry about him. So I just put a muzzle on the dogos and I introduce them one by one. I like to use muzzles because I don't want to overcorrect them and I don't want to worry about any aggressiveness or so that way I don't project any insecurities or anxiety onto the situation, and I can kind of just freely observe them and then just jump in if it actually gets a little crazy. But otherwise, you know, I highly suggest using a muzzle because then you can kind of just let them interact freely and you don't have to worry about it getting serious or having any serious injuries. That way, you know, if you correct them unnecessarily and they weren't really, committed to doing anything, then it can actually build anxiety towards that specific dog and cause aggressive issues. So the next step I do is what we're doing here. We're just kind of freely walking around. Estli, Shoko, Servo! And so we'll just kind of let them freely walk around, and I just kind of watch to see how they're interacting. Off leash, there's less tension. They can kind of choose how far they want to be from each other. And with a puppy, it is great too, especially because baby puppies usually aren't conditioned to a leash yet, or not very well yet, and it can add a lot of additional stress to the situation. And it can kind of build an insecurity in your puppy. So if you just kind of let them freely walk around and let them choose what they're comfortable with, then it really kind of helps your puppy in that situation mostly. And then after that, we'll kind of play with a tug. So I like to kind of build the energy, and I'll play with a tug first because then I'm involved in the game. This is great, especially for female dogos, because I've noticed female dogos can have a lot more possessiveness. And so if you're just playing with a ball, they might just want to keep it and they will guard it from the other dog. So that's the next thing I kind of introduce. Estli, Shoko, come! I kind of introduce situations where there might be any kind of resource guarding, like with myself or food or high value things or toys and stuff like that. I just want to put them in that situation while I am ready for it, so I can kind of see how they interact or how they, work in the situation. And then another big thing that you have to watch out for is that I've noticed dogos really like to police other dogs. So if I throw a ball for another dog, they're gonna go after the other dog. So it's not necessarily like prey drive, it's more like policing. So, because they'll do that too if other dogs are playing. They'll run up and they'll try to like police or the situation. So you have to be careful of that as well, that, if you are choosing to interact with just the puppy, that you're monitoring how the adult dog is doing. And what was I gonna say? These guys are distracting me. Yeah, so that's about it. It's pretty easy, if you've had your dog around puppies before, then you can kind of predict how they will be more so, but otherwise just play it safe and do a little by little and put them in as many situations as you can, so you can see how they react without it becoming a surprise situation. So yeah, best of luck.